Start recording.
Hello, everyone. It is May. It's not. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Sorry, that doesn't work for Denise in the US because it's May the 3rd over there. Hello. Good to be here. Good to see you all. And here we are. Wonderful for another inspiring 45 minutes or so. So good to see every single person. Good. All right. Well, you all know me. My name's Andrew. So I think Tim's. I might throw Tim straight under the bus because I don't think anyone's met Tim before. Yeah, this is your first forum, isn't it, Tim? Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. Maybe it's my internet, but it's cutting in and out. So,
Okay. Is everyone else? Is it cutting in and out for anyone else, or is it just no? So Tim, I think it might be your internet.
my internet. I might go out and try to come back in and see if that. Sorry about that, Andrew.
No, that's all right, mate. No worries, no worries. So while we're waiting for Tim to come back, let's do a quick sharing, shall we? Let's open it up and see how we going. What's the great stuff that's going on in people's lives right now? Come on, you shouldn't have to think about that.
I'm not
It's my birthday tomorrow. There you go.
Hey, Jen, happy birthday.
58.
Happy birthday.
So I got myself a new car this week. That was my birthday present to self.
That's
What did
awesome.
you get?
First time I've never had a second-hand car in my life. So this is pretty good.
What did you buy?
A Jolyon, nice bright Kermit green one. Yeah.
Jolyon, never heard of it.
Haval.
Ah,
It's-
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking at Haval.
Haval, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congrats. That's great news.
Thank you. My super money's doing wonders for me.
Don't you love it? Don't you love that?
Right.
Well, that's exciting.
It is. Yeah.
Well, what else? Who else has got some special news? What's
Joined a memoir group. It was a training for 6 weeks, and that was really good. And she wanted us to write 500 words as a part of it all. And I found it really interesting, like, because I've got one in draft form, and it's over 50,000. But it was interesting trying to work out which part of all that to put into 500 words.
Yeah.
Because she's hoping to get us all into an anthology that she wants to publish. And there were 10 people in the class, and it went for 6 weeks at the library at Toowong in Brisbane, which was really good. And I found it really helpful trying to concertina it into that sort of short amount of words. And I'm almost thinking I could do my memoir as, I don't know. I'm sort of confused as to how to go with it because it's written but totally in draft form and it totally needs cleaning up. But, what to put in and what to take out, I'm having difficulty there.
Oh, okay. Well, good on you for what you're doing. We'll come back to that, Paula. You might be able to give you some thoughts. Let's just keep zipping around. So that's good. That's great news. Well done.
Thank you.
Tim, this is Tim, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that.
Writing a book. Tell us, just give us a quick intro, mate.
Yeah, it's great to meet you all. Internet's fine now, so thanks for your patience with me. So I've started working with Andrew for a few weeks. I'm very excited to be part of the group. This is my first call. So I'm a storyteller and a nutrition researcher. And I'm in the process of writing my first book about the body weight paradox. And yeah, look forward to meeting you all today.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So what you'll find, Tim, very quickly is this is a wonderful group of very caring, collaborative people who love sharing and love helping. And so this is great. I love this because this I can just hand it over to you guys whenever someone's got a problem or an issue. I can just hand it over to the champions here. So who else wants to share anything?
I will.
Okay, go Justine.
My book came back from the printers this week.
Right.
So my kids' book, my new kids book. Do you want a glimpse of it?
Oh, are we allowed to see it?
Oh,
Is anyone here from Geelong? No. They're all good then. Yeah, there's a quick flash.
Very good. It
Wait,
looked
I
good.
can show you more, and I can show you more in June. I can show you the whole.
what's it called?
It's called Finding Hope,
Okay.
and it's a book about an elephant goes to find hope.
Wow.
So,
Sorry, what goes? A what?
a blue elephant goes looking
Oh.
for hope.
Okay, that
He's hoping
sounds.
to find out why he's blue.
She.
She.
She. No, there's an explanation in the back of who she is. So the book launch is going to be massive. I'm not paying for the book launch. Well, I'm paying for a ticket to the book launch, which is really weird. But anyway, it's a charity that commissioned me to write and illustrate the book. And they're turning the characters in the book to life in a performance. And it's going to be huge. I don't know anyone else that's had a book launch like this. I'm just blown away by where my writing has taken me and networking has taken me with this project. It'll be in the media without me even having to do a press release. They've ordered their first 1,000 copies.
Right.
I delivered them on Thursday, and that was such a nice feeling. And we're taking all photos and everything all together with it. And my garage has still got 1,000 copies. My garage smells of books when I walk in there. You know that new car smell, Jen? Well, I've got that new book smell in my garage. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, I've had books come out, as you guys know, in the past, but this one's pretty special. I wanted to quit that many times in doing it. It pushed me to my limit and beyond, and I'm so glad that I hung in there. I've also got another book under the typesetter at the moment, and I should have it back by Monday, Tuesday, and then I can publish. And we'll look at not this week, but the week after, and you're in that, Andrew.
Wow, that must be a special book.
So what I did with my podcast is that I lifted the transcripts, I got them all edited, and I'm publishing the first season. And we're already under edit for the second season as well. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. If I do say so myself, but it'll be a 500-page book, so it won't be a little book whatsoever. But a good marketing tool as well. And I did a talk yesterday in front of 150 women, and I definitely realized that I need to finish my book, which I've been working madly on at the moment anyway, but it really cemented how much that book is going to do to my career for it. So it will be out in August. But that's about me, I think, for this month.
I think
That's
about-
great.
that's about
Congratulations.
enough. Yeah, that's awesome. Good on you, Justine.
Fantastic, Justine.
Good job. All right. Who else?
Oh, and Andrew and I have actually sold tickets to our event.
We
So
do,
that was
yeah.
another
Jen's
good
coming.
thing. Yeah.
We'll chat about that before we finish today.
I have to leave early too, sorry.
Is that online, that event?
No.
No, it's
Oh,
face to face. You'll have to come down to Victoria for a weekend. It's worth it.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an event of it and book a hotel and stay down there overnight. It's a lot easier than driving around.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I was gonna do.
Is it Melbourne or what?
Geelong.
Oh, Geelong.
So just out of Melbourne, not far out of Melbourne. You fly to Avalon.
Okay.
Fly to Avalon, we'll pick you up. I'll pick you up.
There you go. You get a concierge service as well. There you go, Tim.
Wow.
You can just
Yeah.
it's the 25th of May, but we'll talk more about it at the end. So it's a Saturday, a full day. So you simply fly in on Friday night, hang around, fly home Sunday.
Amazing.
And have an amazing weekend. My gosh, Geelong is the dance capital of the world, party capital of the world. Maybe
So
not.
I'll have to break out a super strong walking stick for that one. Yeah.
Exactly.
You are a
Get your
very
disco,
good
stick,
fantasy.
Jen.
You're a
Hmm?
fantasy storyteller there, Andrew.
What was that, Andrew?
I
What
said
is
you have
that?
to get your disco stick, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely.
along
I'll
with
have to get some
sequins
bling
on.
on it. Get the rhinestones out or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, we are being distracted here. Who else wants to talk and share before we sort of jump into some key maybe ideas and thoughts?
I did make a small start I wrote for about half an hour this week, and that's the
Right.
first time I put pen to paper for quite a while. I struggle with what medium I'm using to write on and getting it all in together. So it's if anyone has a good app that you can use for writing on the go, that would be great, whether I can go on my phone or
Just do it
whatever.
on your phone and then
Yeah.
email it to yourself and then copy
True,
it
that's a thought.
into your Word document. Look, the key is don't complicate this, like,
That's the
there's
problem.
apps and writing that. Just write in a Word
Do
document.
you mean write it in notes? Is that what you say? Or
Yeah, just on your phone. And you don't even need to write it. You can just voice.
Just open up an email or
You can open up an email and type straight into the email, send it to yourself. So just don't complicate it.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
if
my
you
problem.
have
Is
an
I
app and you've
overthink.
got to understand it, and then you'll talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Just open up your phone, go to notes, do a bit of writing, yourself, and done and dusted.
And the other thing, I'm in the middle of doing a course to be an advisor and a chairperson for advisory boards. So I'm doing a course for that at the moment in the middle of everything. So that I'll eventually be able to run and chair independent advisory boards for anywhere, basically globally. I'll have that qualification. So that's something I've started in the middle of it, which might stand me in good stead if I get a book. Probably need a book for that one as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, great. And not if you get a book, when you get a book.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the language right, shall we?
You know me, I'll probably just decide one day and I'll just knock it out in 5 days. That's just how I am.
Well, let's get that decision to knock it out in 5 days sooner
Yep.
rather than later, right? Because
Beautiful.
trust me, this is not something you want to put off.
No,
Yeah.
I've been
This is
doing
not
this.
something to procrastinate on, because you have no idea what's going to change in your life once you publish.
Yeah. I've
Right?
had three
Don't know how
and a
your
half
life's
years
gonna
of
change.
procrastination, so I'm coming out of it and I'm getting there. So it's
Right,
I'm
get clarity,
proud
go
of
back to your vision, go back to what you want, and know that none of that stuff's going to happen until you've published your book, right? So, and I knew that, and I knew I can't muck around with this. It's just got to get done. So, whatever you can do to beat procrastination, do it.
Yep.
But good.
100%.
All right. Who else have we heard? We haven't heard from either of the Denises or Rosina, so let's hear from someone. Let's give us a bit of an update. You can't escape. We're only got a small group today. There's no
I'm
one.
happy to share. Hi Tim, welcome. It's great to have you aboard the group. I'm a bit of a newbie too, so I know how you feel. I'm in the health and wellness space too, so good on you for nutrition stuff. That's awesome. I'm excited because I finished my draft.
That's
and-
awesome. Hang on, let's just stop for a second.
Wow, that's huge.
That is huge, because I think we often go, oh yeah, I've just done my first draft. No, that's a big deal, because you know how many people start writing a book and never, ever get to that point. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal. So Denise, savor this minute, this moment, and feel good about you, because that's wonderful. So congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I'm feeling pretty pumped, but then I hear Justine and I just go, oh my God.
No.
I don't go first.
But then I just go, you would have started somewhere too. Like, you had a first book done and a first draft done. So you're very inspirational. But I'm just really excited to have done it. I kind of thought that would be the easy part, just to put ideas down on paper. But whilst it was relatively easy, I think I learned a few things about myself doing that I didn't commit to it every day to writing, because I just found I just didn't have the time, or I didn't make the time. I'm pretty busy from 5:30 a.m. till like 8:30 at night, so it was just not going to be a 5 a.m. start to do half an hour writing or anything. But I'm pretty committed on the weekends to doing a chunk of it. So just for that to come to life over the last few months really was pretty quick, and it just sort of shows just you stick at it, you get it done. Like I just was thinking, how am I going to write a book? But it's just one page at a time or one chapter at a time. And you just look back and go, oh, that's great. I'm really proud of myself. But I feel now that the work's really going to come to get it how I really want it. And it might not even be anything that I had in mind in the final product. So I'm just interested to see how it might change, like if it's going to change too much or if it changes into something even better than I could have possibly imagined. So that's exciting. And I just know it's going to take a bit more work. Like it's quite challenging. I was trying to just redo the first chapter, and it's hard to just not rewrite it, or just edit things. Like I still want the essence of that chapter to come through properly and be a bit more vulnerable, I suppose, as Andrew keeps telling me to be. So that is my challenge now moving forward, to just make it a little more me, authentically, and still connect with other people who, it might resonate with. And hopefully that's a lot, because we all sort of deal with a lot of the stuff that I talk about. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Thank you.
Well done. That's brilliant. Very proud of you. And it has been, when you do commit to it, it can happen quite quickly, because it's only been a few months, hasn't it? It was just from the start of the year you started.
Yeah.
And now you've finished the first draft, which is such a great achievement. It really is. It really is. Because now this is the exciting part. Now you've got something to mold. You've done the foundation. Now you've just got to shape it and mold it and polish it to the beautiful piece of work of art that it's going to become. So great. Well done.
Thank you.
Denise, that is wonderful. I remember finishing my draft and then finishing all my edits that I had to do after sending it off. And now it's with my daughter-in-law, who's a semi-professional proofreader, and she just moved to Colorado yesterday. My son moved out here a month ago, but she had to stay behind to take care of her job and finishing up, and just got here. So she's been so overwhelmed with everything that she hasn't been able to get my manuscript, but that's in the works. And in the meantime, I'm trying as a first-time author, trying to figure out along with Andrew how to get my socials up to market my book and who to market it to, and getting more contacts on Facebook and my LinkedIn account and Instagram presence. I'm not big on social activity online. And so this is sort of a few new areas for me in promoting myself and figuring out how to do that to get people interested in the fact that I have this book that is wonderful and it's going to help a lot of people. But how to go about building momentum for when I get it published. So I'm staying busy while I'm waiting on this final edit with my family. It's a personal memoir about overcoming 3 traumatic brain injuries, as well as being bipolar and living with several disabilities. And how I've gone from, after a car accident with this last traumatic brain injury and being basically a vegetable, to being fully responsible for my own life and taking care of myself and living a full life. So my first draft, I just wrote. I did what Andrew told me to do, and I just wrote. And then when I went back and edited, I actually found that to be quite an endeavor. It took me a long time to edit my manuscript because I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and I had to call out a lot. But I formed now through several edits, along with Andrew's help and the help of a professional assessor, I think I have the core of what my book is supposed to be about and who it's for, and it will help a lot of people. So I'm trying to stay busy while I'm waiting on the process. I'm also researching publishers and getting lists ready with what they need for submission requirements. I've written my query letter and I've written my synopsis. And so I'm staying busy while I'm waiting. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome, Denise. Good on you.
Awesome work.
And that's it, isn't it? You know, the first draft is just now you've created something amazing. So well done. And we'll come back, Denise, and I'm sure this group can give you some ideas around building your social media, some ideas and thoughts for that. So stay tuned for that. But before we do that, we have to hear from Rosina.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Tim. And I haven't met you, Denise, so welcome. Lovely to hear what you're doing. I'm curious about that body weight paradox that you mentioned, Tim, but maybe we'll talk about that in a bit. I had a full-on month, a good month, kind of all surrounding books and writing and stuff. I was invited by an author friend. She's an Australian best-selling author of historical fiction, and she had a book tour for a week on the Eyre Peninsula in South Australia, which is kind of like real country. And that was amazing, assisting her and helping her and setting up each. She had 2 talks a day, so those events, and listening and meeting people. And it was really gorgeous because she'd always introduced me as the aspiring author. And, you know, everyone said, you know, when you get your book published, make sure you come and do a talk here and everything. So it was really lovely to kind of meet people and make those connections. And, you know, your everyday people. I think for me it was, you know, people are just keen to have contact. And I think, Andrew, I remember like very early years, sort of one of the things that really terrified me about the whole getting a book out there was actually being upfront and having to present and having to speak about it. That's gone, which is great. And so sort of helping her with, you know, the whole idea about getting something published and putting out there isn't as scary and as daunting as it first was, which kind of made me want to hide. So that's been part of the process. So when Denise, you were talking about, you know, learning a lot about yourself in that process of writing that first draft, this has been one of my lessons too in the whole process as well. So that was great. I've, with my first manuscript, and I think some people know it's just on protective behaviours for kids, I've had contact with an illustrator. There was a potential illustrator who has sent me just this last week an absolutely awesome message back saying that he's really keen on collaborating. So he's getting something together for me. So we're just using just black and white pencil sketches. And he was so gorgeous, you know, he sort of outlined his background and what he's interested in. And he said, you know, even if you don't want to use my work, you know, I really want to help to promote this book because it's so important. So that was just really lovely to get that kind of feedback from somebody else about the work. So I'm just sort of waiting to hear back from him on that next phase, and we'll get together and discuss how that's going to work. And what else? Oh, and I spent, which was a hell of a weekend. It was like writing a, you know, the last minute essay for uni. Was entered a competition because I'm working on a YA fantasy novel at the moment, 41,000 words in, but I entered a competition for the first 5,000 words for the children and young adult conference. It's happening in June. It was interesting having to rework and edit those first 4 chapters. But what I'm really looking forward to is that each entry receives feedback. And that's what that's the main reason for entering, as well as just putting my work out there. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm pretty much writing, I don't know, 6 out of 7 days at the moment. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's awesome, Rosina. Well done. All that stuff's amazing.
Busy months.
That's great. Well done. Well done. So much in what you just said. You know, and I think the key that Denise has said and Rosina said and Justine said, it's interesting. You don't necessarily believe that writing a book you will change as a person, but you do, don't you? You really do. You change internally. You know, you change the way you see yourself. And I think Rosina talked about now not being afraid to speak, whereas before you were terrified. And I think we can probably all relate to that. I think once you've got something that you really believe in your heart is going to impact lives, you want to talk about it. So that's great. Well done.
People
Now-
treat you differently too when you say that you've written a book.
Yeah, exactly. And I look, the only thing I would say, if you haven't published your book yet, you're still an author, okay? Not an aspiring author. Because what is an aspiring author? If you call yourself an aspiring author, what does that mean?
You're not there yet.
You're not there yet. And if you keep calling yourself an aspiring author, you're never there. I am an author. You've written a book, Rosina, you're an author. You're in the process of getting it published. If you've started the first chapter, you're an author. You're writing a book. Yeah, you're in the process of getting published. So again, this identity piece is really important, and the language that you use. Because when you say, I want something, and you affirm that I want to be an author, or even I will be an author, it's still in the future. It's still a future tense. I am is the key phrase you want to get good at, saying I am. I am already. Because once you're there in your head and your heart, you're there, the rest just takes care of itself, right?
Yeah.
When you really believe I am an author, the rest takes care of itself. That's awesome.
And I had an appointment with my psychiatrist today who wrote his first book and is now writing his second book. He self-published with Amazon on his first one. He's going to do a traditional publishing on his second one, but he relates to what I am going through as he has been through it. And he said today that for me to not forget how select a few individuals actually write a book. That's a very small percentile of the population that accomplishes writing a draft and then editing it and then trying to get it published. That is something that you should be very proud of.
80% of people want to write a book, 5% actually do. And then out of that, there's even a minimal amount that publish it.
Except there is 100% of people that make it a decision, a determined decision, a non-negotiable decision to get published. They will, 100%.
Yep.
So you just got to be in that category, and you're 100% guaranteed. It's when
And
it's,
keep chipping
it's when
away
it, what's that, Justine?
keep chipping away at it.
Exactly.
Say that again, Andrew, please.
I just said 100%. 100% of the people who make a decision, a non-negotiable decision to be a published author, will be.
Okay.
Because
That's
when you make this determined decision and it's a non-negotiable, you'll do whatever it takes. If you get knocked back from publishers, you'll resubmit. If the writing's not very good, you'll improve it. If someone says you can't do it, you won't pay attention to them. When you know what, look, we've all done it. I mean, every single one of us, you've done it in some area of your life. You've made a decision to do something, haven't you? I mean, every one of us could tell a story about what we've actually done that maybe at the time didn't look all that logical, or maybe you didn't know what you were doing, but you've done it. So you just got to use that to build your belief that this is not that big a deal. It really isn't.
I think that's a good point, Andrew. There's some things in life we don't have total agency over, but when it comes to publishing a book, the only obstacle is ourselves. Just realized that when she said that. So thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
No, you're welcome. That's it. Our only obstacle is ourselves. And you're right. There are some things we can't control in our life. We know that. But we always have control about what we do with it and how we respond to it. What we think about it, we always do. So that's the most exciting, empowering feeling ever, to know that it doesn't really matter what happens. I get to choose what I do with the situation or the circumstance.
Mm.
And Andrew, I think it's important to say too that there is always a workaround. There is never a hopeless situation. You will always find a way to work yourself around and get out of it.
Always.
Yeah.
That's what
You
builds
have to believe
resilience.
that. You've got to believe that, Jen, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, I saw my neurologist for the first time in 3.5 years because I was on a waiting list from COVID. I was discharged from hospital 3.5 years ago, and I hadn't seen a neurologist since, and I'm a quadriplegic. So interesting. And he was saying the same to me. He said, "How?" He said, "I look at all the tests, everything that's done." He said, "You should be having someone coming around to help you feed yourself and be in a wheelchair." He said, "I've got patients who are less affected than me, and yet they can keep going." And I think it's just the fact that I just never, there was always going to be a workaround. Oh, I can't do it this way. I can't do it the old way anymore. Let's find another way around.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's great, Jen. And you just didn't buy into the medical opinion. I know, Justine, you're the same, and
Yep.
Denise is the same. When the doctor says you'll never work again, or you'll never walk again, or you'll never, well, that's their educated opinion.
Yep.
But that's not reality, because you control your reality, and you both have, as you all have, all of you that have. And that's all of us. We've all done that. We've all defied logic. Every one of us has defied logic in some area. It may not be a physical,
and I mean, you're always
becoming a
surrounded by
physical thing.
You're always surrounded by people who just are. It's like they're expecting you to fail. So it's an interesting thing that you have to try. You find relationships change and stuff as you go. But yeah, I found that the expectations of everybody is a lot lower than I have for myself, which is a good place to be. You know,
Well, what you got to do is find that association, and that's one of the reasons I run this. You know, find that group of people that will always encourage and lift and inspire you, not tell you why it's going to be too hard or why you can't do it, but to actually say, "Hey, if you want, that's what you want, you can do it." You know, that's the key. You know, the power of association. You surround yourself with people that think low, think small, find fault. Then eventually you become like that. So you've got to get out of that real fast. But I don't think anyone.
That's their false belief. It's always their false belief. And if you're doing something that's bettering your life, and writing a book is bettering your life, all of a sudden they're confronted with their own reality of they're not doing stuff. So they'll pull you down to come back down to your level, not you pulling them up. Because they are uncomfortable at where they are at, and you're making them look bad, which is great because you're bettering yourself. So just remember, if I've got certain family members that I can't tell anything to on what I'm doing, especially if it's around money, because they have issues around money, I don't. And so they'll try and pull me back down. And I know that, so I just don't mention it in the conversation to them. And you'll have friends and family that when you say, "Oh, I'm writing a book," or "I'm doing this," or "I'm doing that," they're like, "What do you want to be doing that for?" And start pulling you back down. So just be aware of that. It's
Right.
their false belief, it's not yours.
Get motivated.
and you get the people who give you that smirk as if to say, "Oh yeah, she's really going to be able to do that," and you just think, "Well, you know, I don't need that in my life."
Watch
So
is all you
the only two people who know that I'm, well, apart from all you lot, the only two people in my life who know that I'm writing a book are my two children, because I cannot trust and have that whole conversation be around the rest of the family, because it just, you know, I don't need that, and that's where I'm sitting. So
Yeah.
you know, be prepared. There's going to be people who won't hold your hand and walk into your new life with you, and they're going to be left by the wayside, and that's just how it is. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I wonder,
Yeah.
is that an Australian thing? Because I have friends, when I say I want to do this or that, they go, "What do you want to do that for?" Yeah, I want to drag you down to like do nothing. And is that an Australian cultural thing? Because when I went to the States and I was doing a bit of acting and a bit of other stuff, nearly everyone I spoke to was so encouraging. But I don't know, like maybe I'm generalizing, but people there would say, "Good on you," you know, and then they'd pick stuff that they could compliment you on, as opposed to friends. So I don't tell a lot of friends I write or what I'm doing, but it's like, what do you want to do that for? Are you crazy? And is it Australia?
No, it's not. It's not. It's a worldwide thing. It's just people. It's just choosing who you associate with. That's all it is. You just got to choose. I'm sure in America, Denise, there's people that drag you down and complain, like there is in every country, and there are people that will lift you up and inspire you. All you got to do is find the people that are going to lift you and inspire you. That's it. It's a simple job we have. They're not always easy to find, but
I think you might find in Australia there's, we have our culture includes a lot of self-deprecating humour.
Yep.
And that extends to people externally as well. So they'll put you down in a jokingly funny way. And there's a bit of the tall poppy comes in there where people want to bring you down to their level, not step up and walk with you. So yeah, but I think in Australian, it's very overt, like it's straight in your face. They'll just say it and couch it as a joke, and you've got to take it. That's how that works,
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Now I'm just checking the time here. Denise, this is US Denise, she's starting on a bit of a journey to grow her social media. Any ideas for her? No ideas for you, Denise?
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your goals, Denise? Sorry, I don't have enough context. I can give good ideas.
Oh, well, I can tell you what I'm doing. I have updated my LinkedIn account, and I've gone on to Facebook and gone to friends and found mutual friends. If I have more than 25 mutual friends, then I've done friend requests, and I did about 50 of those, and created an Instagram account, and I want to create another Facebook account, but I don't know if I should create the Facebook account as Denise Reed Author at gmail.com, or the name of my book, which is Tenacity, at gmail.com. As far as an email address, and then also my Facebook identity, if I want to do a Facebook account with Tenacity or Denise Reed Author, because my Facebook account right now is my family nickname, Niece 3579 at gmail.com. So it's not very easy. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. So I need to create a new Facebook page, and I'm juggling with the idea of whether to call it Tenacity Facebook or Denise Reed Author Facebook.
Are you going to write other books, Denise?
I don't know, Justine. This is the only one I really had in me going into this, and I'm taking it one step at a time.
I could see you doing another book from this, and I would personally brand it as author, not under the book name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make a page, not a group. So you don't create a whole new Facebook login and everything. You just go and make a page from your personal Facebook. I'm happy to have a Zoom with you and help you with it, Denise, if you want.
Oh, Justine, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that so much.
Happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think the key for Denise at the moment is just starting to build her profile. That's it at the moment, trying to build a number of friends, number of likes, number of followers, that kind of stuff. Because when a book comes out, you need a platform, you need a base of people that are you're engaged with. So that's really the key at the moment, is just building that. Yeah.
I actually had a question sort of related to that, about pen names, or how do you registering those so that people can't copy them, take all and getting all your domain addresses and all of that. That's a bit of a daunting process.
Pen name, did you say?
Yeah, so if I'm not going under my the name on my birth certificate, basically you choose a name for yourself if that's what you want.
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you want to use your real name?
I'm just thinking, that's all, because it's not just
big mistake.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, if you go under a pen name, then how do you market your book?
True, yeah.
You can't use your social media. You can't do anything because you're hidden. So
So you have to
you
create.
don't have to worry about. You don't have got nothing to worry about.
Okay.
I really discourage people from using a pen name unless they're talking about some criminal activity or something. They're potentially
I've
getting.
got a friend that's got a pen name, so to speak, but he just uses his first initial and then his last name because he's a hetero male that writes lesbian fantasy novels. And he thought that by having his first name, Michael, on the book, that a lesbian's not going to pick it up and read it. So he just had M. Drake put on there. And then I said to him, that's a really big marketing thing that you should be saying you're a hetero male selling lesbian books. And so he's on TikTok now promoting it all. But under certain circumstances, you would do it. I've had one woman that recently who wanted to publish her book under a pseudonym, and I advised her not to for the same reason that Andrew's just said, because how's she going to market it, and it'll come out in the long run who you are. You just need to tell one person. You tell one person and your secret's out.
Yep. You got nothing to hide, and we've got nothing to hide. Again, this is this societal, pressure that gets put on us to be normal, to fit in. Well, I don't think anyone here fits in. I think you're all weird, okay? And I mean that in the most loving, beautiful way. You're all not normal, and be proud of that. Be proud of putting stuff out there, and the challenge is that if you do put stuff out there, you might get criticized. You might. You might get, but that's okay. You're not gonna get everyone to love you and agree with what you say. There are going to be people that are going to criticize, and that's all that means is you're having an impact, right? That just means that your message is getting out there. So be you, be real, be you, be proud.
Can I ask, Jim, why are you thinking about a pen name? Because I've been floating with that. So a pseudonym.
You're on mute, Jen. You're on mute.
There we go. That's all right. I just had problems with my phone for a second. Technology, I'm pretty good at it, but some days anyway. For me, as far as a pseudonym pen name was concerned, I wanted to choose one or the other, or actually if I wanted to, I could divide it, because there are certain types of, I've got what I will be writing first, of course, is a non-fiction, but there will be fiction books at some point. And again, maybe I can say, well, I'm writing these type of interesting books, but I'm, a 58-year-old grandmother, and that might be a marketing ploy. But yeah, so as far as I was concerned, it was because there were certain types of writing that I wanted to do that is not mainstream.
Are you afraid of the judgment that you're going to get by putting it under your name?
From in a professional sense and a credibility sense, if that makes sense.
So Jen, can I just say, with this best-selling author friend, her name is actually her brand, has become her brand. Now she's written in the historical fiction, Australian historical fiction. She now has, she wants to explore crime writing. The publisher does not want her to use her name because that is associated with the brand of Australian historical fiction. That's what that name is associated with. So she has submitted something under a pseudonym. And it's a real, so if a particular, we're all newbies, but particularly if you've established in a genre, you'll find that like she's with one of the big, publishers. They do not want you. It's like J.K. Rowling, she does adult fiction under Robert Braith, whatever the name is. Because even though everybody knows that that's J.K. Rowling, for some reason, which is ridiculous, but the publishers kind of had this thing, oh, that's the brand, and we don't want anyone to get mixed up thinking if they pick up a J.K. Rowling book that it's going to be, you know, a fantasy a child's book or whatever, as opposed to this is an adult fiction.
Absolutely.
You think that they get a small credit. So there is a thing, even though I know, and we've discussed this, Andrew, but there is a thing in the publishing world where they consider it a brand, and they do, and if you establish a particular genre, they do not want that brand name, even though it's your real name, to be on something else. So that does exist, because I've had lots of debates with this friend about it and wondering which way to go. I've actually made the decision that I'm using my name for any non-fiction that I write. And for any fiction, so I'm working on a fiction book. I'm actually using, which actually happens to be my mother's maiden name, which I have within my name anyway, but that's going to be the name I use for. So the Rosina Demarin is for the fiction, and Rosina Maralk is for non-fiction. And what I've done is I've actually already there's nothing on it, but I've got a domain name and everything under that. So, and I've got an Insta under that. So you can have an Insta under 12 different things if you wanted to, but do you know what I mean? But that's the way I've approached it. Assuming I sell millions of copies. So there you go.
Well, I think, and there is the assumption. I mean, you're talking about J.K. Rowling. I mean, she could call herself anything and she'd sell millions of
totally.
Like, so it's a different story. She's not a first-time author trying to go under a pseudonym. You know, I think as a first-time author going under a pseudonym, massive mistake. And even, you know, you've got to get a pretty significant level of success with your real name book for that brand to be, you know. So look, I mean, you get to choose what to do. It's up to you. But just know, if it's not your name, you can't market it. Well, I mean, as Rosina said, you can. You've got to create a whole new raft of social media profiles, hide your identity, don't use, I mean, to me, it sounds ridiculously complicated. I would just be me. This is me, Andrew Jobling, author. Non-fiction.
Rosina, why are you choosing to do a pseudonym for your fiction books?
I actually, Denise, you're in the car, aren't you? What I was originally going to do is that name, that pseudonym is what I wanted to use, because I've never loved my dad's surname. And so that was always just going to be the name that I was using. And and I like it. I just like it.
So I would be publishing both under the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm hearing from, you know, other established authors.
Yeah, but you're talking about established authors, Rosina.
No, but if I'm saying I'm publishing a non-fiction book, which my first manuscript is, and then I'm publishing this other one, which is a YA fantasy. Look, ultimately, you know, I think the publisher will let you know what they're happy with. I think. I don't know. I don't think there's, look, in an ideal world, I think publishing under one name would be great. And, you know, you would think they would be able to give the readers the credit to realize that, you know, this author can publish 5 different genres and it's the same author, the same name.
They won't, as a branding thing, they won't do that.
How do you mean? Sorry?
In a lot of cases, like with a publisher, they're just going to brand you under one. They're not going to say,
That's
oh,
right.
This person and this person is the same person. Because it's not in their interest to do that.
Okay.
Anyway, this is a topic we could, you know, it's a topic that, you know,
I don't think there's an absolute answer.
You just make a decision what you want to do. Whatever you choose to do, I think, you know, and I think if you do all your research and you make a decision, great. You make the decision you want to make is I think the answer to this, because we are running out of time. So just before we wrap up, just is there any last questions or comments, thoughts? No.
Just
Wait,
Paula, you were
just-
talking about, go on.
I wanted to ask you, Rosina, what age group is your protective behaviours for children for? What age group?
It's for primary school age children, so 5 to 12. However, it's for parents or teachers to read with them. It's not for them to read by themselves. So it's an educational tool.
Right, yeah, because I worked as a childcare officer with the Department of Families, and
Yeah.
I could see that there was a need for younger, even 3-4-year-olds. But, even to have that knowledge at 5, but the abuse can start much earlier, and protective behaviours
Oh, yes.
would be great if somehow you could, or do another one for younger group, perhaps.
Okay.
Because I think it really has to start very early with littlies, to be in charge of their body. And a 3-year-old can understand, that these are my private parts and all that stuff. So
There are quite a few picture books in that area.
yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's great.
There are quite a few.
It'll be well needed. So good on you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Paula.
Awesome.
I've just put in
Okay.
the chat, Paula. Sorry, Andrew. There's a She Writes Press, it is a hybrid. It's in the States, and Brooke Warner runs it. She specializes in memoir. And I don't know whether that would be
Sorry,
helpful.
what's her
You,
name?
Denise. It's called shewritespress.com. It's in the
chat box.
States.
Okay, thank you.
She has a great podcast, which I've gone blank, but if you click into there, you'll find information. But she focuses on memoir. I've actually done a couple of her memoir courses online, which are brilliant.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Good.
And Denise, I don't know if that'll help you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rosina. Okay,
You're welcome.
guys, we're gonna have to wrap up. So thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you everyone for being here. The other thing in the chat now is the link for the workshop that Justine and I are running on the 25th. There is still an early bird tomorrow, isn't it, Justine? It's the last day?
Monday.
Monday. Okay. So there's an early bird price till Monday. So that's in Geelong. That's on the 25th of May, and it will be a full day workshop, 9-ish till 4-ish. So click on the link if you would love to join. We'd love to have you there. So, and if you want more information, let me know. But everyone, great seeing you. Thanks for being here. We've got another one of these Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Melbourne time if you would like to join. And otherwise, have an amazing, amazing weekend and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.